Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. This is Math with Mr. Samuels and Ms. Brunell. Just like usual, make sure you have your notes so that you can follow along. Today, we're talking about the next transformation, which are rotations. Okay, rotations. And then rotation is exactly what you're thinking of. It's a turn. It's a turn around a fixed point called the center of rotation. Okay, the figure rotates at a specific angle and in a specific direction. Okay, and these rotations result in congruent. There's that congruent word again. Okay, that congruent word continues to come up throughout this entire unit. Congruent meaning same, and polygon. So pretty much the rotations result in the same shapes. Okay, same size, same shapes, just turned slightly differently. So we have certain rules to make this easier for it, to make our lives easier. Okay, and what we need to do is we just memorize the counterclockwise rules. And the reason why we memorize the counterclockwise rules is due to the fact, let's look at an example. Hey, before we look at the example, let's look at the rules. So if we have a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise, then our original XY coordinates turn into negative Y and X. So the position shifts and we turn the Y into its opposite. Okay. Next example, if we have a 180-degree rotation, we make the X and the Y. All we do is just negate the X and the Y. We make both of them negative. Okay, and next we have a 270-degree rotation. Okay, and when we have a 270-degree counterclockwise rotation, all we do is change the position of X and Y, but instead of negating the Y, we negate the X. So the reason why we only learn the counterclockwise way is because of this. Let's look at this example. Let's look at number 2. Let's just look at the coordinate plane really quickly. If they tell you to rotate something 90 degrees counterclockwise, then we would rotate it this way into the second quadrant. Now, that is 90 degrees counterclockwise. So pretty much 90 degrees counterclockwise is the same as 270 degrees clockwise. Okay, so let's go ahead and type that up here. Okay. Let's type it here. Matter of fact, no. Just keep that in mind. So 90 degrees counterclockwise is the same as 270 degrees clockwise. Okay, and also the same thing for 270 counterclockwise. So if we have 270 counterclockwise, that means we're going to end up right here in the fourth quadrant. Well, that is the same thing as sorry, I'm just confusing myself now. Just pretty much we only learn them one way because we know that 90 degrees counterclockwise is the same thing as 270 clockwise, and 270 degrees counterclockwise is the same thing as 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at an example really quickly. Let's look at a couple of examples. So our first example that we have, it says triangle PQR with vertices P at 3, 7, Q at 8, 1, and R at 1, 2. We want to rotate that 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we go up here and we look at the rule, and the rule for a counterclockwise rotation is going to be negative Y X. So whatever the Y is, we're going to change it into the front and make it its opposite. So if we look at P is originally 3, 7. So the rule is negative Y X. So we have negative 7, 3 as our change or our P prime. Okay. Next, we have Q. Okay. Originally, it's 8, 1. The rule is negative YX. So we're going to have negative 1, 8. And that's exactly what we have for Q prime. And last but certainly not least, we have R, which is originally at 1, 2. So we're going to have negative 2, 1. Negative YX becomes negative 2, 1. Okay. That's what we have here. And when we plot those points, as you can see, this particular shape turn 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, turn 90 degrees counterclockwise. This Q is now up here. The P is now down here. This R is now down here. Okay, and that's exactly what it looks like. Okay, let's jump down to the next example. So remember, the rules for a 90-degree counterclockwise is simply rules for a 90-degree counterclockwise is negative Y X. Okay. Now let's keep moving. Let's look at one more example before I cut you loose. Okay. It says we have the rhombus with vertices M24, N56, O84, and P52. So first I want you to do is just plot those different points. When you plot those original points, your shape should look like so. And they want us to rotate it 270 degrees counterclockwise. So if we go back up top and look at the rule for counterclockwise, okay, we just simply have y negative x. So the rule for 270 degrees counterclockwise is going to be y negative x. So pretty much we change the position of x and y, and we make x into its opposite. So if we look at m prime is going to be 4, -2, because we want the y to go in the front and the x goes in the back, and it changes to its opposite. So we should have 4 and -2, and that's what we have for m prime. For n, we should have 6, -5, and that's exactly what we have here. For O, we have 4, -8, because it's y negative x. And for P, we have 2, -5, okay, because the rule is y negative x. So whatever x is 2, it becomes x is 5, I'm sorry, it becomes its negative. So that's why we have 2, -5. Okay, so then when we plot those new prime points, this is the shape that we have. Okay, this is the shape that we end up with. Okay, so once again, the easiest thing, the way to tackle this is just to simply memorize the rules for counterclockwise, and just know that the opposite direction, if we were to go 90 degrees clockwise, well, that's really just a 270 degree rotation. Or if we go 270 degrees clockwise, that's really just 90 degrees counterclockwise. They're inverses of each other. So that's why we only need to memorize the counterclockwise rules. You all are going to be responsible for all of the rest of the even problems. So 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. We will discuss this in class, and we will go over it, and we will work on some of them together. So please do not fear, but just try to work it out, figure it out on your own. We're going to come together in class and do it together and post the answers. This has been Math with Mr. Samuels and Ms. Brunell. Please, please, please memorize these rules. That will make your life so much easier. Study these rules, okay? Study these rules right here. Let me go ahead and highlight that for you so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, study these rules right here in this middle section. Okay, this middle section. Let me highlight all of this, matter of fact. Study these rules in the middle section, okay? That will make your life so much easier, okay? Math with Mr. Samuels, Ms. Brunell, have a great day. Choice is yours.